Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be a Venus conjunct Mars twin flame reading for my dearest Leos. Leo, on July 13th, Venus and Mars will align at 19 degrees of your sign, Leo, and this happens every 2 years or so. We're going to be feeling this energy about a week on either side of the 13th. And this transit will shine down creativity, harmonize any imbalances, and activate soulmate and twin flame contracts. So Venus, the goddess of love, and Mars, the fearless warrior, come together. And when they do, we feel an awakening of the feminine and masculine principles within us. This awakening will help shift our attitudes towards sexuality and relationships. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and jump into this. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to ask that you like, share, subscribe. Check out the description box for ways you can get a private reading. If you like the cards I'm using, I have them listed and linked in order of appearance. Feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. All right, Leos, let's see what's going on. I'm going to read Divine Feminine energy on the left, Divine Masculine on the right, and then we'll see what's happening between you guys in the middle. All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So we've got searching. Okay, so the Divine Feminine is definitely on a spiritual quest. The Divine Feminine may have gone MIA from friends and family, or even from this connection. I feel like there's an element here of separation. This is being in hermit mode, really tapping into her higher wisdom, searching for answers, also trying to figure out a way to bring herself back into balance, into alignment. The Divine Masculine, we have the energy of the runner. So yeah, many of you, many of my Divine Masculines out there have left the Divine Feminine. There's something here that's been triggered. Now this could be past life karma that's coming up. But what I'm seeing here, the Divine Feminine, I'm not so sure if she's searching for the Divine Masculine or searching for answers in this time of silence and separation. But we have in the middle, between the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, this energy of wanting. Okay, so I do feel like there's an energy of yearning, of longing between the two. But I also feel like the Divine Feminine is looking for clarity as well as the Divine Masculine. But at the same time, these two souls are wanting to be in union, wanting to be with one another. And we have this energy of beginnings. So this is the beginning of a long journey here, you guys. I do feel like this is, in a twin flame journey, there's always a separation period, or, there's a runner and chaser dynamic. But we're at the beginning of something. And I actually feel like this is a connection here where, there's been a separation. It may have been a while back even. Okay, and so this new beginning here may be you guys calling each other in. So let's go ahead and see with the Divine Feminine what's going on with the Divine Feminine. Seven of Cups, fantasy and temptation. So the Divine Feminine, we see her in this sort of very grounded position of meditation, searching for answers, going within, trying to see what is real and what isn't real. There's this connecting, this linking in the remote soul planes between the Divine Feminine and Masculine. The Seven of Cups can be in the dream space or in these remote soul planes where this conversation, where this connection is taking place. But I feel like there's a little bit of a warning here for the Divine Feminine that she may be living for and in these moments of connecting, whether it's like waiting to go to sleep at night, whether it's doing a lot of meditation and spiritual work, which is absolutely beautiful. But I do feel like there's something here within the 3D that has been ignored or that is being ignored. So just be aware of that. I also feel like there are illusions. There's fantasy regarding this connection. I feel like the Divine Feminine is searching for answers, for clarity, trying to call the masculine back in. And we see the Star. Yeah, very, very in touch with her intuition at this time. She's coming into universal alignment, or at least in the process of Aquarius energy, trusting her intuition, because the Divine Feminine is very, very spiritual at this time. Okay, but I do feel like it might be a little bit heavily weighted in the spiritual, so there may be a need to attend to certain 3D matters. Just keep an eye out for that. We get the Lover's card, twin flame connection. So the Divine Feminine is absolutely focused on this connection, on coming into union with the masculine. But there's some sort of confusion here, is what I'm seeing. And then we see the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, independence. So I do feel like there's a little bit of a codependency that I'm picking up on with the Divine Feminine energy on the spiritual realms. And what I mean by that, and I've said it before, but what I mean by that is I feel like the Divine Feminine is suffering as a result of experiencing the Divine Masculine doing a runner. And she's searching for answers. But there's this tendency, or there's this overemphasis on spirituality and meditation, and I feel like there's a little bit of an imbalance here that Spirit's bringing our attention to. It's like chasing that high, chasing that connection, okay? Which is, there's nothing wrong with doing spiritual work. But there's a healing that really needs to be looked at. There's an energy of also like this, of like what I'm seeing with this temptation to check out of the 3D or not focus enough on what's going on in the 3D, which may be creating a little bit of an imbalance here in this connection as well. With the Divine Masculine, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So a work in progress. So I do feel like the Divine Masculine is in the process of maybe burying himself very heavily in the 3D. And this is what I'm seeing. Yeah, because that we have the Divine Feminine very heavy in the remote soul planes, in the spiritual realms, and the Divine Masculine too focused on the 3D here with the Eight of Pentacles, working, sort of not looking up from focusing on the 3D. The Sun card in reverse. So there is this energy here. Illumination and growth is not taking place because there needs to be some sort of balance. The Divine Masculine doesn't want to look at right now what it is that he needs to look at within this connection, or look at what triggers him to run or to move away. It's like easier to focus on work, easier to focus on the 3D than to focus on, negative reactions or triggers as a result of this union. Wow, and we have Judgment card. So a karmic review taking place. Spirit is going to come in and call judgment here on this situation, in particular with the Divine Masculine, some sort of aha, some sort of awakening moment, because of his refusal to look up from the 3D, or refusal to acknowledge the Divine Feminine or what it is that's triggering him to run. There we go, and we get a Tower, but this is to avoid disaster. This is going to be some sort of divine intervention that's taking place so that the masculine, because the masculine here is refusing to see this connection for what it is, or to take accountability, or to see why it is that he's running from this connection. Because at the same time, there's this mutual wanting and longing between one another. And the feminine is searching for answers, but is having a hard time grounding and being in the 3D, while the opposite is true for the masculine. So there's something here that is wildly out of balance here. Let's see what's going on in between, you guys. We get the Ace of Swords, breakthroughs and awareness. Yep, and this is that divine intervention. So I do feel like the divine feminine is healing this, or starting to realize, or is getting some sort of download here about codependency, or or being overly dependent on the spiritual realms, and knowing that she now needs to take concerted action in the 3D. And I also feel like the breakthroughs and the healing that she is doing, that she's completing as she comes into alignment, because she knows this is a choice. And I think this is becoming abundantly clear to the divine feminine that she has a choice to find balance. She has a choice. She can choose happiness. She can choose union. And this breakthrough is going to also be affecting the masculine. Ace of Swords, there could be communication. I do feel like the divine feminine may be reaching out to the masculine. And this may be sort of like a little bit of a wake-up call here. The Six of Cups, memories and reunion. So there is possibility of coming together. I do feel that slowly but surely, as a result of the work the feminine is doing in the dream space, in meditation, in prayer, her healing work, this is starting to infiltrate, and that's where we're seeing this lightning bolt, this awakening. But I still feel like he's avoidant and coming together at this time, but I do feel like it's starting to, the conversation that's taking place telepathically is starting to illuminate something within the divine masculine, because we can also see on the side of the divine masculine that one eye is really starting to light up. So there may be communication, there may be some sort of renewal taking place. The Queen of Wands, yeah, this is what I'm seeing. The divine feminine, the Queen of Wands is about manifestation, but it's also about, she's been in this very sort of passive energy, and there's also this breakthrough and awareness that she needs to take steps within the 3D, not just setting intentions, but taking steps, meeting the universe halfway, meeting the divine masculine halfway, in order for this to come to fruition, in order for this union to take place. And this is also her becoming more confident and magnetic, because this searching energy, this very sort of passive withdrawal that the feminine has been in, is as a result of the turmoil or the trauma of losing the divine masculine, or the divine masculine running, okay, being triggered by this relationship, being overly focused in the 3D and not on this connection or on unity or union. And then we get the Eight of Wands, we get energy, surge, and communication. But right now, the communication, there's been some sort of miscommunication, or there's been some sort of indifference here. We're seeing that with the Justice card, number 11. Either the divine masculine has been blocking her communication, or the divine masculine has ignored her or has been indifferent. Just a reminder, guys, I'm not talking about gender. We're talking about energy here in these readings. But we do see that there's some sort of imbalance here, and these imbalances are affecting one another. The divine masculine too heavily focused in the 3D, the divine feminine too focused on the spiritual realms. But there's going to be some sort of breakthrough. And I also feel like there are certain dreams, there may be synchronicities, there may be messages. I'm kind of getting that, like, each party here is getting reminders of the other, even though they may be trying not to focus on one another. But that's your angels and your spirit guides giving you signs. You might be hearing their name, you might be hearing your favorite song. You might be seeing like feathers and different symbols. We all have our own sort of symbols or reminders of one another, even like seeing something on TV that reminds you of this person. But there is still this imbalance here. And this is about, there's some sort of karma that needs to be healed and cleared between the two of you, because we see this Knight of Wands energy in reverse as well. Somebody's lack of commitment, and that's coming from the divine masculine and the runner energy, that has brought a lot of instability to this connection. The foundation here isn't strong enough between the two, or wasn't in your initial meeting or up until this separation. And what I'm seeing here, the Tower card here, we're going to see divine intervention taking place, if it hasn't already, that's come to shake up this foundation so that it can be rebuilt. But the divine feminine is in a process, is trying to manifest the divine masculine, but I do feel like he's blocking this at this time, but I don't feel like that's going to be for too long. Okay, that there's that spirit is going to come in, and either there's going to be that you guys unexpectedly run into each other, or the signs and the synchronicities are going to become deafeningly loud, that it's just something that can no longer be avoided. Okay, so I do see that for my Leos, or those of you consulting this reading, that you're in separation from your person. Okay, but Spirit is reminding us here with this beginning that this is a destined connection. Okay, and we also see reversible. Okay, and look at that, what I was saying about whispers becoming so loud. These whispers are the signs and the synchronicities that are drawing you back to one another, that this is reversible, that many of you guys, there may be somebody here who has lost hope, or at one point in time, but with the Star card here, hope is being restored and renewed. Okay, that this is a destined connection. And I feel like there's going to be something very unexpected that's going to lead to a new beginning. So like you guys running into each other on the train or on the street or in a store, or, I'm even getting somebody's phone might, it could be like a butt dial, or you might even, I don't know, somebody might get a missed call from the other one, but it wasn't intentional, or you don't know even how it happened. So additional messages, please. We get liar, and we get has integrity. Wow, interesting. So I do feel like this is how the divine feminine is flipping and flopping between what's going on here, trying to reconcile within what this connection, what happened in this connection, what led to the breakdown of this connection. There's moments where, there's a negative energy or a negative outlook when it comes to the divine masculine. This switch, between this is somebody that was lying to me about their intentions, about their love for me, about how they felt for me, because how could they leave, or how could they abandon me? And these are these codependency triggers that are coming up for the divine feminine, that I do feel that she is healing and clearing as she comes into alignment, knowing that she has to do this, but not only in the spiritual realms, but in the 3D. Okay, and the other part of her, we're at the soul level, that knows her twin has integrity. Okay, but there were 3D factors, or negative imprinting, or fears, or ego sabotage that led to the masculine not being supportive and walking away here. Sometime this year, so there's a need for patience and adventurous spirit. So I do feel like right now that the divine masculine is in this process of trying to avoid conflict. With the Judgment card, there's karma that is being played out here. It may be from previous lifetimes, but there's something here that couldn't manifest, okay, until this karma has been healed and cleared, and the divine masculine is learning, or is starting to be guided towards focusing more on unity consciousness and the spiritual connection that is available to him at all times. But he's still in the process of illumination. Okay, and I do feel like he's avoiding seeing this connection, seeing something. He's also, there's been some sort of disappointment, but I feel like more than anything, he's very disappointed in himself and is having difficulties reaching out because of that. Okay, disappointed in his behavior, disappointed in running from the feminine, because he knows it's very clear that he has hurt her, but he's getting called back in the remote soul planes is what I'm seeing here. All right. Let's go ahead and see what else comes through. All right, we get twin flame. So we get twin flame coming out twice. So for many of my Leos, we do, you know, this is a twin flame reading, but I do feel like the divine feminine is doing a lot of work and balancing, you know, the spiritual with the material so that her prayers are answered, so that this connection can come into union. And these breakthroughs and this healing that's taking place is absolutely affecting and drawing in the masculine, because I do feel like twin flame union here is imminent. Okay, for those of you watching this reading. And then we get release, radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. So I also feel like the divine masculine here has released the feminine, released this connection in order to get started or to do the work, to have the illumination necessary to heal and clear this karma, so that he can prepare for union. And if you think that the divine masculine isn't thinking about the divine feminine, you would be sorely mistaken, because there's a lot of communication going on in the dream space and telepathically. With this Ace of Swords, there's a clarity that's coming in, and we see that here with that judgment, with that aha, with this awakening. But I do feel like the masculine still has some guilt or shame, or is trying to push down or suppress any sort of feelings of wanting the feminine, because it brings up this energy. It's like the disappointment in himself. And we get trust. It is safe to trust in this situation. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, you and this person don't share the same vision, are on different pages at this time. But those different pages, like being on those different pages, is exactly what needed to happen so that you guys could come back together. There needs to be this trust that this is a destined connection. And with this double confirmation of twin flame energy here, Leo, you know, everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to, that karma is going to swing back in your favor. Look at that. We get twin flame coming out 3 times. Divine feminine, if you were starting to doubt, because I do feel like there were moments of doubt for the divine feminine, you know, have I been lied to? Is my intuition off? Is this really truly my twin flame? Divine feminine, this is your twin flame. Look at that. We get twin flame connection, 1111, twin flame soul, twin flame, 3 cards coming out here for the divine feminine. Absolute confirmation that this is your twin. Okay, and we get, I care about you very much. Okay, so I do feel like, you know, I feel like this is something that may even be holding the divine feminine back, because she cares so much for the masculine, but there's a need, there's a desire to care for herself, to channel that energy back into herself, to have and to embody that self-love, or the love that she has for the masculine. All right, and also like for those divine feminines listening and wondering why you feel so strongly, why you're so stuck on this connection, it's because loving the masculine is a reflection of yourself, or parts of yourself that also need to be loved and need to be cared for. Okay, so with the divine masculine, we get release. All right, and we see Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So your divine masculine could have water in their chart. There can also be, you know, something very powerful taking place during Cancer season, which is this reading, right? Which is Mars conjunct Venus. And look at that. The cards just exploded. We get hot passion, deep kisses. All right, and then we also get, I will contact you again, and I wish I chose you. So it is possible that there is a karmic connection that came between you guys. Or, you know, the divine masculine, again, there's this guilt and shame about, you know, doing a runner, or by leaving the divine feminine to, you know, on her own. And I feel like that's also delaying union, is, you know, and blocking communication, is that he needs to come to grips with this. He needs to have this deep understanding of what is triggering him. Okay. And he needs to release this. He may also need to release a water sign, or, you know, a karmic soul contract as well, to come back together. All right, so again, the divine feminine doing a lot of work here, but I mean, it's incredible. I've never had a reading where I get 3 twin flame cards coming out here. So just confirmation, because I do feel like the divine feminine is starting to doubt the journey, doubt her intuition, devout is very devout, but is starting to doubt her intuition, doubt the journey, doubt if this is her masculine, you know, is this a karmic or is this my person? All right, and we get graphic smoky quartz for the divine feminine. We get purpurite 44, divine masculine. Absolutely. 44 is one of my confirmations for divine masculine energy. So this absolutely is your divine masculine. This may be confirming that your divine masculine in this lifetime is a water sign. Okay, he's absolutely going through an awakening. And we get appetite, number 19. Beautiful. And there's that wanting, that yearning. There's a very strong sexual appetite between the two of you. All right. One of the other cards that popped out was like lust and passion. So there's definitely this desire, this hunger to be with one another, but there's still some blocks here in the 3D to this happening. So with the divine feminine, we get the stabilizer. And I do feel this, and what they're showing me is that the divine feminine has, you know, her energy has been bouncing all over the place. And in this energy of searching, she's in the process of grounding, becoming stable again. Okay, trusting in this, trusting in the journey, trusting in the masculine, trusting in herself, her guides and spirit. So graphic smoky quartz supports all the structures in the body, removing toxic debris and traumatic memories. Yeah, because being left or being abandoned by the divine masculine has resulted in an energy block and trauma. And it keeps you grounded and balanced in physical incarnation while exploring other dimensions. And you guys, I can't make this stuff up. This is what I'm getting, that this is what the divine feminine needs or is coming to understand, because the divine feminine has been exploring other dimensions and even has been, you know, very heavily in that to the point where it may not be healthy or it's imbalanced. So there's this need for this grounding. A lack of trust in yourself and other people creates psychological barriers that lie at the heart of your dis-ease, divine feminine. And that's exactly everything that I've been saying here. There's a lack of trust because of what's happened here in this connection. Your self-esteem is low, creating a deficient immune system. Memories of old traumas have subtly amended your ancestral DNA. At a deep level, you have been compressed and limited. So now it's time to expand again. And that's what I'm getting with the divine feminine. She's in the process of this expansion that's going to lead to a breakthrough for the masculine. So it's important to undertake a shamanic journey into the unseen worlds in search of healing. There you will find the underlying causes of disease and outdated soul imperatives that are affecting your well-being. Offer yourself the gift of transformation. And for many of my divine feminines, I feel like this gift of transformation is stepping into this confident and magnetic energy of the Queen of Wands, coming out of that cave, not abandoning spirituality or meditation or anything like that, but finding that balance, okay, and doing this grounding work. Now, purpurite, this is the curse clearer. So this is for the masculine. It's extremely effective for psychic and aura protection. Purpurite grounds high frequency energy, harmonizing the physical body to the new vibration. It helps you to break away from self-destructive or self-limiting behavior. And I feel like that's why the divine masculine is currently doing the work to illuminate that self-destructive and that self-limiting behavior that keeps him out of union. All right, subtle energetics of ancient curses or ill wishing could be affecting you. These may be personal or passed down through the family line. So both of you, what I'm getting is there's ancestral healing that needs to take place. There is DNA, there is healing at a very deep cellular level and of the DNA. And many of you guys, this is past life energy that you guys share, something that's happened between you that's being replayed or played out in this lifetime. So this with purpurite, it's about being open to new ways to heal. Protect yourself appropriately, but don't be overly defensive. And I feel like the masculine has been in this overly defensive energy, and that's being illuminated to him. You know, the past creates the present, but the past can be repaired and the present can be healed. And we see that with the Six of Cups. There's this understanding that this connection can be healed, that union really is imminent here. Now we have acceptance coming through. So we see that with the Divine Masculine starting to accept his role and to be accountable for what's taken place within this connection. And appetite works at the interface between consciousness and matter to let go of what is outworn in your life. So this is about clearing away confusion and guilt. And I mentioned here that the Divine Masculine has guilt and shame about doing this, about the way that things ended, or about leaving the Divine Feminine. And it's interesting because this is really coming up. That the work that's being done between you guys is recognizing that you are entities with credits and deficits, and to recognize these without judgment. So moving away from aloofness or social alienation and show others who you truly are. And I feel like the Divine Feminine has been in this social alienation energy, while the Masculine has been in this aloofness and sort of burying himself in work. So it's about inspiration. This connection is being re-inspired. The truth is being shown to you guys. Recognizing what is real in your world and what is and restructure your reality. Because I do feel like both entities here, the Divine Feminine has been sort of too heavy in the spiritual realms, or too heavy in fantasy with the Seven of Cups. I'm not saying the spiritual realms are fantasy, but maybe too heavy in the imagination. And she's really doing this grounding work to see what is real, to restructure her reality. Don't be deceived by false fronts. See what is beneath. Develop your metaphysical perception. Things are going to move steadily ahead, and understand that circumstances are merely learning opportunities. It's time to be of service for others, and your intuition knows what's best for you. This is Gemini energy, so Gemini coming through really strong a couple of times here. So water energy, Gemini energy. So what I'm seeing here, you guys, is that you're starting to see that things can improve, that they will improve, that there's this wanting, there's this perception, there's this this third eye connection, this telepathic connection that is bringing you guys back together. And it's also about seeing the truth of the situation, because I feel like there's been a lot of confusion because of what has happened. And the Divine Feminine, I feel, was even starting to doubt the twin flame journey itself, or whether this was her true Divine Masculine. But for in this reading, this is confirmation, clear confirmation, okay, that this is your Divine Masculine if you're the Divine Feminine watching. I also keep getting some I keep going back to this release that the Divine Masculine may need to release some sort of past connection or current karmic situation in order to come into union. And I feel like it's something that he's avoided doing or looking at, but I feel like Spirit absolutely is going to call judgment on this. And if the Divine Masculine continues to be avoidant or to block communication, that again, these whispers that I'm picking up are going to become so loud, okay, that they're going to become so loud that he won't be able to ignore the Divine Feminine or the calling to come back together. All right, so I'm going to leave it here, you guys. I'm sending you lots of love and light. Take care.